Today I'm going to be sharing with you a story time about my humble beginnings and what that all was, how I grew from that into becoming a current day six-figure business owner who provides for her family. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Lauren Simpson, and I'm helping you maximize your time and talents as a growing small business owner, so make sure to subscribe for new videos every week. So if you're new here or don't know much about me or my business, I am a professional makeup artist by trade. I currently own and operate a bridal beauty business where we do wedding and special event hair and makeup services. We also do things like lash and brow services, makeup lessons, photo shoot, makeup and hair, etc. And I also run a secondary business where I have a curated line of lip glosses, lipsticks, and mascaras. It's a cosmetic line that is gluten-free, made in the USA, and some are vegan. I've been a makeup artist since 2010, and I have been full-time since 2016, specializing in bridal since then as well. And I've been building a team since 2019, yes, the year before the pandemic hit, and somehow we made it. And then I also did get a new commercial studio space in 2022. So how did I get here? How do you start? How do you even start? Where do you start to do something like that? One thing that I did in middle school and the beginning of high school was I created homemade lip glosses. So this is something that's really funny to me because it's definitely a child's type of business, but hey, that's what I was at the time. I essentially mixed Vaseline and Kool-Aid powder and made little lip glosses. So there'd be like a red one and a pink one and a blue one. And it was really just a Vaseline base so that it was glossy. And then it had a little bit of color from the food powder. Now, this wasn't something that like I really worked hard on or expanded or anything like that, but I did have people who supported me. You know, they'd buy it. I think I sold them for a couple dollars. They were in like these little like containers I got at the dollar store. And yeah, I had no real idea of what profit margins were. I had no idea of what regulations were or anything like that. I was just kind of being an experimental kid, and that was my first real like dabbling in the makeup and cosmetic world. I'll never forget like my guitar teacher and his wife were really supportive of it. Again, even though it was so silly looking back, people like that they really shape you and they really motivate you to keep going. So I really appreciate that. Then high school is when I really got into makeup and when I got really interested in it. So when I was 15 is when I really started to become interested in makeup application itself. This is when I wanted to just learn how to do makeup on myself because I didn't really have anyone who could teach me. So this is also when YouTube was in the very early days. I mean, people recording in their closet with no lighting, no microphone, very chill, the square box videos, the description box that would move from the side to the bottom to the top and everywhere else. It was way back then, before partnership was ever even a thought. So I found Emily Noel 83. She, to this day, was just one of the biggest ones who shaped me. I loved her down-to-earth personality and how she was real, and she just felt like a friend. And so she really kind of helped me in the beginning days. And then, of course, I found people like Juicy Star and Michelle Phan and like all of the OGs back then. So I really started to learn how to apply makeup on myself. And although it wasn't good, looking back, we all start somewhere. I did go through the orange face phase of wearing the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse that was way too thick and way too dark for me. I went through eyeliner being way too far off from my lash line phase, winged liner, which was really stubby, too much shimmer, just like all the things that you could imagine. It's funny to look back on and think about that because I think nowadays kids may actually skip that awkward phase because of how much information's out there. You kind of can just become really good at makeup by like 12 years old. That was not my story. So during this process, I was actively learning how to do makeup on myself. And again, maybe I was a little late to the party because I was actively learning as like a 15, 16, 17-year-old versus younger, and then by the time I got to high school, looked decent. But in my learning, I also wanted to teach. I've always had this teacher mentality in me. It's never really went away. I did become a preschool teacher eventually. I do teach makeup lessons now to this day, and clearly I'm on a YouTube channel teaching you guys things to hopefully help you as well. I think it goes with my helper personality, but basically, I just really felt a pull to start a YouTube channel myself. I thought it was really fun. It looked really cool. So at first I started by not showing my face and just kind of like reviewing products on the floor. Like I'd have a blanket out and I'd have products and I'd be talking about them or things like that. And eventually I decided to show my face. It was the summer before sophomore year of high school. And I was like, whatever, we're just gonna do it and we're gonna go for it. And I think this could be really cool. Long story short, that turned into 3 very terrible long years of my life of high school and bullying. It got as far as receiving death threats and ridiculous things just because I was on a YouTube channel talking about makeup. But kids are kids. Maybe I can expand on that story on this channel. If any of you would like to hear, let me know. But basically, I was growing a YouTube channel while I was learning makeup. And so I was learning and teaching and growing like all at the same time. So I was very much self-taught until I sought out certification. In the state of Connecticut until 2020, you didn't have to be licensed to do makeup professionally. So you could have either just been self-taught or you could be certified. I thought getting certified was a really good idea because I was on the path of, yeah, this sounds really fun. I think I want to explore this as a career option. So the summer before senior year of high school, I went and I got a general makeup artistry certificate. A couple of years later, I got a theatrical makeup certificate, which is how I do Halloween makeup. So fun, like gory makeup and special effects and fantasy makeup. And again, looking back at some of my really early portfolio work is hilarious to me. And again, very humbling, which is why I'm sharing this story about humble beginnings, because we all start somewhere. The work I did back then is nothing compared to the work that I do now, and will be nothing compared to the work I do in 10 years from now. I believe we're always learning, and we are never like perfect or 100% or anything like that, along with the fact that trends change, products change, all of that kind of stuff. So I believe that you can always continue honing your craft. That being said, we all start somewhere. So again, with this being very humble beginnings, my business was very part-time for 6 years. From 2010 to 2016, I was very part-time on the side, hustling to grow it. While I also went to college full-time, I also had multiple part-time and full-time jobs along the way. I worked in a packing facility. I worked as a server at a banquet center, as a babysitter, as a teacher, as a receptionist. I have a bunch of experience under my belt because along the way I did want to work and earn some income and not have a lot of student debt racked up and things like that. But it did obviously take a bit longer to build the business then because I was focused on other things as well. I did actually break this down a bit more about the realistic aspects of working other jobs while you're growing your business. I've never been the type to just jump and fall or fly. There's a lot of people that are advocates for that and say when you're in business, you need to choose. You can't be half in, half out. You can't be doing another job. I don't believe that that's true because that was not my journey, and here I am. I believe everyone's journey is different, and that's why I'm trying to share some of mine on this channel to hopefully help you along your way. I did start to see a lot more growth once I did become full-time in 2016, and then furthermore with the team and the studio and everything that came after. But I wanted to share with you how I really got started. I mean, it really was just like a kid having fun and experimenting with things, and then it led to all of this. I provide a full-time income for my family with the work that I do, and I am a full-time business owner. This is all that I do is business, and then these other like creative ventures like this YouTube channel. But truly, everybody has a backstory. Everybody has hurdles they've had to get through or things that kind of shaped them and led them to where they are and where they're going. So whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like for you, keep going. If you have your vision in mind, It may take longer than you wanted to. It certainly took me longer than I wanted it to. But I promise, like, if you just keep going and you're operating out of good faith and you're being a good human and you're genuinely passionate, you can make it happen. The first video I ever did on this channel is actually a story time about how I became a full-time professional makeup artist. So if you'd like even more juicy details, check that out.